Etiefo assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mosum fuyiti ya dawani enwe nyina be wo so manaka be munu emola ni kwaturu jaboba na megabeze me insembi bana semanka anybody who attacks Islam na semankasa no a either say menya problem with my data ana me network re ha adwen ana semante ana me ni kroyimu Black Rasta montage no raspopo oni mesia montage Black Rasta video we mu na mon share mane nkwato no enwe nyina be wo so ebeka be Black Rasta introducing about the development in Rwanda and it's a plus and we are happy about it to hear about Black Rasta. But the more Black Rasta video no, nemfi yenkwati ensimo beka na ya mre meyi na no wano. And we nyina ba wuso ebeka be. Menu no me de matansoro ho na wa share video no.
Known as Rwanda. How many of you have heard about Rwanda? Who is the president of Rwanda? He's called Paul Kagame, right? Very tall. He's the tallest president in the whole of Africa. It used to be Abdou Diouf. But Abdou Diouf has been relegated to the background. He's no longer a president. Paul Kagame has the height of the Fulani. I believe that he has some Fulani blood in him. To the glory of the Most High God. Rwanda is a country that has only about 12 million people. It's a small country. But it is big. Rwanda is a pace setter when it comes to African technology. True or false? Now we all remember how Rwanda came out of a civil war. In fact, a genocide. The Rwandan genocide, where about 1 million people were slaughtered in cold blood. Paul Kagame sat down and watched how Hutus and Tutsis massacred and killed each other. We all remember President Habyarimana, right? We all remember how Hutus and Tutsis slaughtered each other. Nobody would have thought that Rwanda would come back this fast, but Rwanda is back. Rwanda is back. Hey, Rwanda is back to the point that England even wants to send asylum seekers to no other country but Rwanda. Is that not a plus? It means Rwanda is such a hot place. But Rwanda only has a population of 12 million people. Rwanda is rising to the noise of religion. How many of you know that religion is noisy? So noisy. Sometimes I can't even take the noise religion makes. That is why I am not religious. I am only spiritual. Some people don't know that religion is only supposed to be a conduit pipe to spirituality. You need that lecture, right? We will do it another day. But for now, religion is just supposed to be a means to an end, and that end is spirituality. You understand that? All right. Hear me now. Paul Kagame says that in his country, when you make noise with loudspeakers in the name of religion, you will be closed down. Watch it. This is from BBC. It says, Rwanda bans Kigali mosques from using loudspeakers. Now we all know when Muslims are, calling people to prayer, they call it the azan. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You know, they use loudspeakers most of the time because they want as many people as possible to hear the azan. They call it the azan so that they can come and pray. My brother, my sister, over the years, I've always wondered. Azan is supposed to be the call to prayer. Why do you have to wait till you are called to pray when you know that at this time you are supposed to be in the mosque to pray?
You will always see Black Rasta so happy anytime Islam or Christianity has been attacked or is being bullied. You will always see Black Rasta very, very happy about it. But whenever some group of people attack Rastafarians or when the Rastas are being bullied, you will see Black Rasta fighting for human rights. You will see him, at that moment he's a humanist. He's fighting for human rights because the Rastas has been touched. But anytime Islam or Christianity is touched, you will see Black Rasta quiet and happy about it. What kind of an awkward humanist is this? If I'm a humanist, I shouldn't be always greedy. As a humanist, I must feel pity for anybody, being it a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist, or anybody at all. in as much as I do not agree with the person. When the person is being cheated, as a humanist, I must fight for his right. Black Rasta has proven to the whole world that he is very, very selfish in his humanitarianism. He does not even understand what it takes to be a humanist. He does not even understand it. He is one kind of a selfish guy who is doing all this. But I have a news for Black Rasta. One thing that a Black Rasta does not know about Islam is that, let me give Black Rasta some history of Islam. Let me give Black Rasta a brief history of Islam and how Islam has survived all these things and came out powerful. Islam, when it came to Mecca, because Islam has been there in the days of Adam, Noah, and the rest. Read Quran 42 verse 13, Quran 2 verse 136, Quran 3 verse 85, and so forth and so on. Islam is the religion of all the prophets. But when it came to Arabia, Islam was given to one man. His name is Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Muhammad ibn Abdullah was the only Muslim then in Arabia. He was sent in the midst of idolaters, people who were worshipping idols, stones, and were doing human sacrifices and were killing human and children and so forth and so on. They were infringing on each other's right. The one that is stronger bullies the other. I can even kill you and boil you and eat. Or when you marry, I take your wife and so forth and so on. The strongest survive. In the midst of such people, Allah Azza wa Jalla sent Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The first man to have believed in him, Abu Bakr. The first woman to have believed in him, Sayyidah Khadija. His cousin, Ali, Karamallah Wajahu, was born, he was as young, very, very young, so he was truthfully, he never practiced idolatry. Muslims were in the minority side. And this includes Bilal bin Rabah and the rest. Ammar bin Yasir's mother was killed by Abu Jahl and his people by piercing a sword in between her thighs and then killed her just for saying La ilaha illallah. They were persecuted. Anybody that embraces Islam is persecuted, is killed. They had to run. Some of them have to run, led by Jafar, to Najashi, King Negus of Ethiopia. The others migrated from Mecca to Medina. Later, the Prophet also migrated to that place. They thought they have eradicated Islam from Mecca. The kuffar of Mecca thought they have eradicated Islam in Mecca. Nobody can practice Islam again. They are free. Guess what? The Prophet went to Mecca and then came back and conquered Mecca. And then did Fatihul Mecca. Today, Mecca and the entire Arabia is Islamic country. Another example. When the Muslims were ruling Andalusia, way back Spain, the Crusaders invaded us. They killed the entire Muslims. For about 50 to 70 years, no Muslim can give azan. Azan is the call of prayer. No Muslim can give azan. Everywhere was silent. Today, do you know the number of mosques in Spain? We have 13 large mosques in Spain. And we have about 1,000 small mosques in Spain. La ilaha illallah. Whenever you chase Islam away, Islam bounces back. That's what you don't know. That's the history and the record of Islam. You know why? Because huwa allazi arsala rasulahu bil huda wa dinil haqqi liyudhhirahu ala dini kullihi walau kariha al mushrikuna. It is God who has sent down his messenger with truth, with truthful religion, to overcome every idea in the world. Even if you, disbelievers, do not like it. Now, another fact to be given to you is that Islam came to Russia just 22 years after the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Islam went to Russia in the 7th century. Around 1997, the Russians had to ban every religion. The Russians had to ban every religion from being active. And this was done by the centralized organization, which has existed in the country for more than 50 years. They banned the entire religion, Christianity, Islam, name the religions, from being active in 1997. But guess what? Today, there are more than 25 million Muslims in Russia today. What haven't we seen before? What haven't we seen before as Muslims? Tell us. What haven't we seen before? In France, we have to pay for our women to wear hijab and put on a veil. We are paying, and Islam is still growing. Upon all the propaganda that people have done against Islam, Islam has still survived. Tell Paul Kagame that his hate to Islam or any religion at all can never and will never bring Islam down. Black Rasta, your ignorance and your hate to Islam or any other religion can never bring Islam down. We've seen men fighting against Islam. We've seen men beheading Muslims. When France entered Chad, they beheaded 400 Islamic scholars. 400. They beheaded all of them. Islam is still in charge. You can never bring Islam down. Said people are not even born yet. We have answers to everything that you bring. We are Muslims. We inform Paul Kagame that it is a brief joy that he is enjoying. Said power, he will lose the power today or tomorrow. We saw Donald Trump banning Muslims from traveling to Europe. The new Joe Biden has lifted that ban. So we've seen it all. Muslims have seen it all. These things are not new to us. It is never new. We've been persecuted in countries upon countries, and we are not scared of it at all. People giving us bad names and tagging us into bad names and bad brands, we are not scared of it at all. We are Muslims. هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون.
Don't you have alarm clocks? Probably in those days there was no alarm clock. So the imam or the man who is supposed to call the azan, he's called the muazzin, is supposed to come and call you so you will go for prayer. My brother, my sister, in those days they did not even have loudspeakers. You know who they chose to be a muazzin to call the azan? You must have a sweet voice, one. And number two, you must have a loud voice that will captivate people. My brother, my sister, in modern times, speakers have come in and people would rather use the speakers to call people near and far. And it's always a nuisance. 5 times a day, the mosques in my area would call people to prayer. And it's so noisy.
You can see Black Rasta making a strawman's argument that he's even proposing that Muslims should use alarm clocks for praying. Islam is not about opinion, Black Rasta. Islam is a religion made up with laws, constitutions, and orders, which is being written in the Quran and the Hadith. In Islam, I think, I wish, I want does not come into picture. It is what has been written down that we follow. We don't just say this thing, I think we should do it like this. So by you say making a suggestion that we should use alarm clocks and so forth and so on isn't part of Islam. It is not part of Islam. The calling of the azan, like that Imam told you, brings a blessing. It casts away devils. It has spiritual things. So we cannot remove it in Islam. And you are not the one to tell us to remove it in Islam. Those days, yes, they did not have alarm clocks. But don't worry, the Jews were using horn already those days. There were horns already. We could have also, even the Muslims were even living closer to each other. Azan is acceptable. We won't throw away azan, no matter what you say or do. if Black Rasta has to do this argument with us that we can use clocks, alarms for our adhan, similarly, Black Rasta should also accept that he can also build Rastafarian schools for his Rastafarian students and his Rastafarian families, instead of meddling into schools that are not purposely for Rastafarians, by taking them to court and causing chaos and nuisance in the whole area. He should get that. He should also get that. There is what we call tolerance and everything. We are not the only ones that give azan. Our azan lasts for just 3 to 4 minutes. We are not the only one that yells or scream out for azan. No. The Roman, they play bell. The Christians beat drums. And the Rastas, like Black Rasta, you disturb us with your Kochoko music, nonsense song. You came to Cedro and be playing those your Zuku music, and you were disturbing our vicinities around Greenland Hotel. We couldn't sleep in our Zongo with your noisy live band when you came to Cedro. You've forgotten that? But because we tolerate each other, we have tolerance, we have to tolerate each other. That is why we had to listen to every nonsense you came to do, and nothing happened to you. Have you forgotten that? And tomorrow you'll be also going to another place and be playing street jams and so forth and so on. Have you ever thought of your neighbors who don't like your Kochoko music? Have you ever thought of your neighbors who don't like your ganja music? Have you ever thought of your neighbors whom you are disturbing? Mr. Peaceful Man, Mr. Peaceful Religion. Have you thought of that? Have you thought about we who don't listen to your noisy songs and your noisy live bands? You think about us? I will propose to government to ban music in live shows in Ghana. At least live shows must be banned in Ghana. And also any club or any stage which is being mounted for musical scene must be done within, such that it should not disturb we who don't also listen to music. We must have our peace. They must think about us. And Black Rasta, what will be your action when this happens? What will be your action when such happens to you? When we ban all your live shows, when we ban all your rap shows and all your entertainment shows, and we tell you because it is nuisance to us, we don't want to listen to it, you are disturbing us. And so it should be done in a serene where nobody will hear it. How will you feel? You come to our communities and be singing and be playing noisy and Zuku music all over the places. Listen, had I been a musician, wallahi, I would sing better than you. And if I'm a musician, you will never hate, I tell you. So I sing better than you, I rap better than you. I'm a bad dancehall artist, I'm a bad reggae artist. If people like we were in the music, you will never hate, you will never become a star. Zuku. Yantuaso.
Yet these are the same people who want to go and live in America, a country where this will not be accepted. A lot of them want to go all the way and live in England, Japan, because of the economic situation. And you know that in Japan, you cannot use loudspeakers to make noise. Now, the noise of your religion, my brother, my sister, do you care about the other people who don't believe in your religion?
Rasta is lying, and he's proving to us that his mind is so close, his mind is so shut, he doesn't even do research. In America, they play azan, they call azan. In America, they call azan everywhere. America, yes, you want to live in Japan. Yes, in Japan, they pray. Just recently, in New York, at Times Square, Muslims blocked the street and performed Taraweeh over there. What will you do? You've been throwing dust into people's eyes in the name of America. America. Where have you been in America? Where do you know in America? We have families, we have brothers over there. And today, social media is so easy that social media is so closer to us that everything that is happening everywhere, we see it. America today has embraced Islam. People like you will have to go and hide in your rooms and be crying and be screaming for the growth of Islam. Nothing will stop Islam from rising to the star. When truth comes, falsehood perishes. For falsehood by its nature is bound to perish. Are there not Christians in America? Are there not Christians in Germany? Are there not Christians in Italy, France, and so forth and so on? Aren't they succeeding in life? It is the governance, it's the system of government in Africa that is killing Africa. The corruption is too much in Africa. That's it. Old men enacted laws that is favoring them. They are able to steal and rob the country's money, using it to feed their girlfriends and their families. Even when they die, their families will enjoy. That is the kind of system we are in. The Europeans are religious people. The Arabs are religious people. Religion did not impede their progress. They've been successful enough. And today, in America, Europe, Asia, everywhere, the fastest growing movement is Islam. There are 1.2 billion and over Hindus in India and the world. Religious people. China, Buddhist. But you still refuse to wake up.
Or you want to force everybody to listen to the noise of your religion. Let us discuss this selflessly. Hi, I remember I interviewed one big Malam on my show the other time, my radio show. And what did the Malam say? Malam said, hey, hear me. If I had a way, I would let the people even make more noise with the azan. Because when you listen to the azan, there's a blessing. How about me, who doesn't believe in your azan?
Argument, does Black Rasta want to force everybody to listen to the noise of his songs? Chofonta, Zuku. If Ghanaians are serious, no Ghanaian will even purchase just a single CD from you. No Ghanaian will purchase just a single CD from you. It's a fact. I'm not insulting you. That's a fact. You cannot force all Ghanaians to be listening to your trash. At least Samini is okay. We might listen to Samini or Shatawale Bandana. We might even want to listen to them, even though Shatawale too has his own issues. But we want to listen to Stonebwoy, Shatawale, and the rest, and Sarkodie and the rest, than listening to your rubbish songs. So Black Rasta will have to be banned in Ghana because Ghanaians don't want to listen to his songs. Per this, your argument, we will also have to agree to disagree on this. That, okay, we agree. Ban our azan. We don't want to be screaming. We don't want to be disturbing you with noise. Similarly, the musicians, we exclude Shatawale, we exclude Stonebwoy, and we also exclude Sarkodie. Our argument is that since Black Rasta feels that ours is disturbing and it is noisy for him, Black Rasta should also not play any show anywhere. His music and his songs are nuisance to us. He can't force us to embrace his stupid Rastafarianism by force. He can't force us to be Rastafarians by force, and you can't force us to be you by force. There are so many things that you guys do that disturb people. But we just, because of tolerance, we do agree with the nonsense you've been bringing and the noises you've been making all around. We agree, even though we cannot sleep at night. We agree with you. We agree with you. We keep quiet, we keep mute and agree with you. The traditionalists in Ghana also bans people when they are doing their festival from playing music, from playing radios, because they want the environment to be serene. So if Ghanaians want a cool and a serene environment, all radio stations must go off. All football parks must be done in a room, in a park whereby the noise will not come out to be disturbing people. All the rap shows should be done in a room, in a place where it will not disturb people. You are just like Paul Kagame. You pick and choose. Ignoramus. Anything nonsense is sensible to you. Anything sensible becomes nonsense to you. In fact, Mashek Haji Omar said, when your use is less, you become useless. Because your use has become less today, you are useless. You don't even know what to say and what to say. You are the guy who were criticizing these politicians and later they took you to parliament and you were begging like a baby. We saw you. We saw how you cry and beg like a baby in parliament. Coward as you are. Look, me, Black Rasta, you don't know me. If I start on you, you will cry like a baby, I tell you.
Am I still going to be blessed because I listen to something that I don't believe in? Must I be forced to listen to the noise of your religion? Paul Kagame decided to close 100 mosques in Kigali, the capital of Rwanda. 100. And here, this interesting thing. Watch it. Rwanda closes thousands of churches and dozens of mosques in a bid for more control. Interesting.
Similarly, Black Rasta, must we be forced to entertain your Rastafarian students in Christian schools when the Christians don't like it? You see, double standard. Must we be forced to listen to your porous songs and bomb musics when we don't like it? Must you come to our areas and our communities and be playing your rap shows and your reggae fest in our communities, your live bands in our communities, disturbing us from sleeping at night? Must we believe in what you believe in, Black Rasta? Must we be like you too? So if we will not call out the azan, we agree. After all, the Quran says, وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ فِي نَفْسِكَ. That is where Muslims are minority. We can اذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ فِي نَفْسِكَ. We can call Allah Azza wa Jalla in a silence. We agree. We have no problem. But how will you also comprehend when all your shows are banned? It is disturbing us. Have you thought about that? Have you think about how you disturb people? People who want to sleep at night with your rap shows and other shows that you've been playing around. I remember when you came to Sedru, Greenland, even though it was very bad show, you had almost about 30 people that came to Greenland show to watch you. You remember? You came with some TikTok woman and so forth and so on that you came to play your shows over there. Only 30 people entered your show. Then I was a musician. An underground artist trying to come out. When you came, that time you were singing, Barack Obama, you made it at last. You were disturbing people from sleeping that time. Hypocrite at its peak. You came here today, you are there today, disturbing people that you want peace, you want serene environment. Who born dog?
Only 100 mosques were closed and 6,000 churches were closed in Kigali alone. Watch it. With fake prophets on the rise, President Kagame closed over 6,000 churches and mosques. Now the head of the mosques, the head in Rwanda is called Sheikh Salim. Now Sheikh Salim is an interesting man and I love him. You know what he said? You know what the Sheikh said? When the Sheikh was interviewed, Sheikh, what do you think about Paul Kagame closing down 100 mosques in Kigali alone? Sheikh said, well, they gave us some laws to abide by, and we are going to abide by all those laws. There's no problem at all. They don't want us to make noise. Well, we will now install and fix the noises in the mosque.
Rasta, we've seen the entire country banning Islam. Islam bounced back and came back. We've seen the entire country persecuting Muslims in India. Islam is still in India. We are almost 300 million or more than 300 million in population in India. We've seen a lot of countries banning Islam. Even when Islam started in Makkah by 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people, when we were very minority, they couldn't stop Islam. Until today, you can't stop Islam when we are almost 2 billion people. You can't stop Islam. We've seen these things. They ban Islam, they ban it, we ban it, and the next day you see that Aji Omunsem, Aji Bonsuenum. هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. That verse should stick in your skull.
Soundproof in the mosque. What a man. Look at his face. So brilliant and so sharp. But what are the Christians saying? Are they also going to put the noises and soundproofs in the church? No. It's a fight against the Bible. Touch not the anointed. Fire would descend like manna on them. Hey, Paul Kagame's height is going to break down. He is going to reduce to a dwarf like Nana Akufo-Addo. Hey, his belly is going to be big and fat. This man will suffer. Hey, touch not my anointed. And his tongue speaking all over the place.
Black Rasta, this man only applied what you call Islamic laws. Because in Islam, when we are minority, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, was korabaka fi nafsika. We should call out Allah in our heart, in a silent. That is, we should not be screaming out because the majority do not like it, so that they will not attack us. he only applied Islamic law. But that is when Muslims are very minute over there. And Islam is a religion that accepts leadership. When a leader commands you or someone to do something, you are supposed to obey him. You understand? That is why he has obeyed the law. A peaceful man, that is Islam. But in as much as Black Rasta is so happy with the banning of Christianity and Islam in Rwanda, he should be happy when some companies and when some people began to be also racist and also be banning Rastafarians in a particular places. He should also be happy about it. He should understand that such Rastas are not also welcome over there. He shouldn't be a humanist when such happens to him.
Now you go to Kigali. All young men and women are on the streets. Oh, Paul Kagame, fire, fire, hey, fire, 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 die, die, die. Some are walking with cutlasses. Kagame, Kagame, they are killing Kagame in the spirit. Hey, you are disturbing people with your tongues. You are worrying people with so much higher, and all that. We don't believe in your higher, and all we believe in is quietness and serenity. You can't give us that. Did Jesus force people to preach to them?
When Rastas are also denied their right and their rights are being abused from places and places, we see Rastas saying, Babylon, more fire, fire, burn you, Babylon. They are, all of them are Babylon. Fire, burn them, Haile Selassie, burn them. We've seen all these things before. We've seen all these things. So it shouldn't be new when you see Christians also fighting for their rights. They did not take a gun. They were only praying for answers. But we've seen Rastas doing worse than this. Spare us your nonsense and your hate. Spare us your nonsense and your hate. We've been in Africa for so many years. Peacefully, nothing has happened before. And religion is never the problem that is impeding Africa's progress. Look at Libya. Libya was one of the most richest continent or richest country in Africa. It was even giving France loan. It even campaigned for Obama and it gave Obama money. What happened to Libya? Obama invaded Libya and killed Gaddafi, and today Libya has gone back to zero. The problem in Africa is not the religion. The problem in Africa is the West and the Europeans. Cowards, you can't even say these things. These plain things, you can't say them. Because you know, when you begin to talk about that, your visas will be banned. You cannot go to Europe again. So you cannot talk about how France is enjoying the minerals and the goods in Africa for free. Mali, when Mali recognized and realized who has been parasite or who has been parasiting their progress, they chased France away from Mali. They chased France away from Mali. The whites are the ones enjoying your thing, not religion. We pay our taxes to the government. When your government go and agree to a porous contract and bad contract, you don't blame religion. Blame it on your foolish leaders and weak leaders. So the fastest growing movement in the world today is Islam. The fastest growing movement in the world today is Islam. Not just religion, movement in the world today is Islam. In Europe, in Germany, in America, everywhere, Islam is the fastest growing movement in the world. So Black Rasta, you can live in your delusions and you can live in your fabrications. Who cares? The most ignorant person in the world is the most stupid one that thinks he's intelligent than anybody. And yet, meanwhile, his stupidity is what is killing him. Islam will win without you. You without Islam, you will lose. That's a fact. As Muslims, we have seen hate from our childhood. We've seen sanctions from our childhood and in our adulthood. We've seen burnings. We've seen attacks, abuses everywhere. And we've always bounced back. So banning Islam in any country or any other place does not affect Islam. We always bounce back. Tell Paul Kagame that he will be put to shame very soon. Inshallah. Inshallah. Allah will disgrace him very, very soon. Nobody has fought against Islam that has won successfully. Nobody. There is no history of such person.
Annabi Muhammad Sayyidun Annabi Muhammad Adin Annabi Muhammad Muhudin Annabi Muhammad Muqaddamu Annabi Muhammad Azizun Annabi Muhammad Fadilun Annabi Muhammad Mufaddilun Annabi Muhammad 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 Annabi Muhammad Muhammad